All right, YouTube. So today's video is a super freaking exciting day. Uh, no, they didn't announce a new DSLR, but they announced two crazy products today. And, it's exciting time. I mean, I know I've said a lot of things that sound like anti-mirrorless, but usually, I still have mirrorless cameras. I shoot them. And I got really excited this morning, really excited when I saw the Sony announcement. Before that, I saw the Canon announcement. I was like, wow, they're actually just like throwing stuff out there like crazy. Let's talk about the Sony piece first, and then we'll go to Canon. Incredible day. The title of this video is not clickbait. I did order the Sony A7R6. And hopefully in this video I'll make a reveal or an announcement for you, which I think I had to end up making a decision. So I ordered it within the first few minutes when they really started to talk through what the camera had. And I guess the internet and everywhere it flooded. It is a A1 II killer and this and that. So those kind of words resonate in people's minds, and they pre-order things and they order things like me because I get excited. Hey man, it's gonna kill the A1 II. Shoot, I want one of those, right? If I can kill the flagship and not pay what the flagship costs, why not, right? And that how we live today? Entitled to everything. That's the name of the game. It's only Red Bull in there, don't. Right? So that's what I'm drinking. So, what is the A7R6? I think it is something that signals that Sony is still around. Now, do I like everything they did in this? No. Do I like what they did for the price point that they're giving it to you for? Absolutely, right? It's truly an incredible machine for the money for certain situations. This is very important. You guys know that I had the original Sony A7R, the original, the first one that was 36 megapixels. Then I had the A7R II. Then I had the A7R III, which didn't last long. That was probably one of the best ones I had. And then the A7R IV, got that too. I mean, incredible. I mean, 61 megapixels, the sensor was perfectly fine. But it just didn't really, resonate when it came to them actually fixing some of the issues with their autofocus that they had. And being a Sony Pro support member, they just don't care, right? So I post this along with the A9 II. I still have my A9 II. I love it, but they never fixed the autofocus. So one of the Sony artisans, I mean, we were back and forth a little bit a week ago on Facebook, and he said, just, he said what he had to say. I said what I had to say, and that's where we left it. And when I saw him actually present on the video today, when Sony announced this camera, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-order it right now, right? Before it takes forever to get one of these. So I pre-ordered this thing, all of that happens, and then I get a video from so many people, right? Everyone's apparently been, handed this camera to try and do different things. And I don't see always eye to eye with, Jared Polin or Frono's Photo. But he did it side by side with all of the four cameras, the different generations of Sony, including the A9 III and other things, right? Rightfully so. And again, to Sony's credit here, as much as I know you guys have a hard time believing this, when they do something good, I speak about it. When they do something not so good, I speak about it. It's the same thing I do with Canon, Nikon, others. I'm trying to be as balanced as I can. What Sony has done here for $4,500 with this camera, it really sets the bar pretty high, right? I mean, obviously, what Canon did with the R5 Mark II, it kind of literally just became the undisputed king, right? In that price range, under $4,000, it became one of the most sold, full frame cameras that could do 30 frames per second, all these different things that you wanted to do, right? Pretty amazing. So Sony obviously had some time. They went back, they thought through it. I was hoping for a new body. They obviously didn't do a new body, so Sony rumors, you lied. New battery, yeah, they gave it a new battery because it probably needs more juice and horsepower to do all of the AI functions and the new processor that's in there. Absolutely. I think that's a beautiful thing they did, right? I think they truly hit it out of the park. Feature set on what you're getting dollar for dollar in the A7R6 and the Sony A7R6, it's unmatched, right? 67, 68 megapixels, full frame, still ability to shoot 30 frames per second, compressed RAW, but at least you can do that, which is not an easy thing to do. It's easy to sit here and talk about it, but that's a lot of data that it's actually processing. Hopefully it does a good job with it. So why did I order it? I have very high resolution lenses, and resolution doesn't mean sharp on a stupid chart by some buffoon sitting behind the computer and then, shooting a test something on the wall. I have, how many Zeiss lenses I have, Otis lenses. That quality of things that I was planning to put onto this this particular body and do that. So I said, it would be a welcome thing, right? And hey, if I can shoot, 30 frames per second, this and the other, and not have to carry multiple bodies outside, right? Not take my A9 II out and just do this because it's fully stacked, right? That's the most amazing thing that Sony did, to stack this sucker at that price point. That is nothing to laugh at, right? I think it's going to push other brands. Nikon obviously not, because they rely on Sony sensors anyway, so they'll get what they can get from Sony. Canon, on the other hand, would have to probably go back to the drawing board and actually, build something like that if they want to compete with that camera. Maybe they don't want to compete. They're good with the R5 II, and they might leave it there. I don't know. But one thing is for sure with this camera, and before we go too far in, I don't want you to think I'm making this up. I'd rather just show it to you. Where is my email? It's right here. You can actually see it. It's right there. Order placed. Sony A7R6 B&H. Right? No kidding. Did it. So, after watching Fro's video, it made me think a little, because there was one thing that was said during the announcement, which I heard it, but I kind of didn't hear it because of the excitement of ordering the camera. So they said it's 5 times faster. The sensor is 5 times faster than the A7R5. Okay. And that one was sitting at, according to the video, it was at almost 100 milliseconds. 5 times faster, right around 20, little less. Okay, fine. In today's day and age, and to get to 20 and below milliseconds on that sensor for a 67 megapixel sensor, it's not a joke. Hats off to Sony for being able to even do that. One thing that made me think even more and more and more once, you know, this thing showed up, this video. They pushed it as wedding photographers, no problem, perfect. You can use it for that. Wedding, you know, occasions, you know, event photographers, this, that. But then they said something about wildlife and sports. You can use it for that. That's where the problem starts, where you're trying to pigeonhole this one tool to do it all. And it really is not designed to do that. But Sony marketing obviously went out there and put it out there. That's what it is. And if you watch Jared Poland's video, again, it's got that issue, right? I mean, you can see on, especially when you shoot an electronic shutter at 30 frames per second, you can see that it suffers from the jelloing effect. It's there, right? And it's just there. So then I had to start thinking for a second. I have an A9 II, which barely does that. Yes, it's not 67 megapixels, it's 24. But if I get this thing, now I got greater chances of dealing with these issues with a sensor that has the speed of something that I had 5 years ago. The Sony A1 II is about 4 milliseconds. It's slightly slower than a mechanical shutter. That's a very, very fast stack sensor for 50 megapixels. It's pretty incredible how fast that is. The only thing that's actually faster right now on a stack sensor plane, like I've said in the past, is the Canon R1, but it's only 24 megapixels. It's not like the Sony A1 II, which is 50. That's at 2.7. It's, you know, a mechanical shutter in a professional body is around 3, between 3 and 4. So is it an A1 II killer? No, it's not. By any means, it's not. And I agree 100% with Jared on this one. Now that I've actually ordered this, I'm actually really seriously thinking about canceling this order, because I don't want to get something in here where I'm going to be always wondering, am I going to have issues with the photos, right? I shoot a lot with mechanical, you know, shutter. It does have a mechanical shutter from what I saw. I get that, but that's only at 10 frames per second. My 1DX, for example, will shoot 20 frames per second on a mechanical shutter. So I'm already covered from that perspective. My big thing is paying this kind of money for it. I mean, and it's not a lot of money for what it is. I'm almost tempted to buy a used A1 II or a Sony A1 if I want to keep the Sony glass and things like that. That's kind of where I'm leaning. Or maybe even the Sony A9 III, which has a global shutter, which gets rid of all of the headaches, because I shoot a lot with flash. I do a lot of work with flash, and maybe for event wedding photography, that would be the ideal camera, the absolute best that you can get. Even better than something from Canon, because, you know, yes, even though Canon has a very robust flash system and all that, with mirrorless, it's just a lot of headaches, and things pop up. With A9 III, I mean, a lot of the new flash units that are coming out, they can sync with global shutters and do some incredible things. So maybe that's an option. So that's kind of where my head is right now. You guys let me know what you think. But I am very tempted at this point, right here, while actually I am on this, in this video itself. Let me just see if I can actually get it to open. Yep. Looks like it's saying it's back ordered. But yeah, here it is. And okay. And I am going to go to cancel my order. Select why I'm canceling. I don't. Won't arrive I'm just going to say it's just not going to arrive in time. So it's not letting me cancel. It's making me call B&H, which I can call and cancel. That's my decision. I think, you know, that video made it very clear for me that I really honestly thought with the announcement, this was the camera for me. I don't want to waste people's time and then get it in here and then, you know, show like, oh, you hate Sony. No, I don't hate Sony. It just doesn't fit to what I needed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Coming back to the Canon announcement today. The R6V that they came out with for $2,500 or whatever the heck it is. It's a great offering for the money, for what it is. They are giving you quite a lot, including open gate, which I know a lot of the Sony people don't think is important, but it is. They're going full on after the Nikon ZR head on, and obviously the Sony FX3 and other things. It's definitely not a cinema camera, but it does have a fan and all these things in there, which is more of a, you know, prosumer type of video camera, which can yield pretty incredible results, including C-Log 2. It's got C-Log 2 in there, and that was pretty shocking that they put that in there for that kind of money. The lens that they announced, obviously the Sony lens that they announced, $4,200, is it warranted for a 4.5 aperture lens? Sure, it is. And internal focusing, it's not a joke. To do 100 to 400 like that, I think it's priced very fair. And I'm sure the optical quality of that Sony lens is just by far outstanding. On the Canon lens, they announced, you know, that PZ, the zoom, but it's funny. They did a power zoom for the first time ever as a L series lens. If you're a creator on the budget, or if you're an aspiring filmmaker on a budget, to have something like an R6V and have that lens, it's pretty amazing what you can do, because the quality is something you can't complain about now. Because if you get both of those things together, you're probably right around $4,000. That's a pretty damn good deal for what you're getting. To get going, start shooting things. And obviously you can expand it and do more things. So leave your comments below if I should maybe order one of those. I don't know. I mean, I'm just torn apart with this whole Sony thing, because I got wrapped up into the marketing and the excitement, which many people probably did. So like I said, the title of the video, the Sony A7R6, amazing offering in 2026, but that but is more me than Sony. There's nothing wrong with their camera, what they're offering. I think dollar for dollar, you're getting a hell of a deal if that's what you need. But for the kinds of things that I do with my cameras and what I do with that Sony A9 II, I think it could cause an issue for me, and cause more frustration. So I'm at the point where I'd rather not even bring the frustration in to even try it. Just completely avoid it. And I just know for a fact that it's not for me, and that's okay. Not every product that comes out is for me. So with that, leave your comments below. Like, subscribe, be nice to each other. Go out there, create your magic. And, you know, if you want to order either one of these, you know, I'll have the B&H links and other links down below. Use them if you like. And order one for yourself, because your use case might be very different than mine. And hopefully you'll end up probably keeping it. So it, you know, prompts me to pick up the phone and call B&H at this point and actually cancel this order. So with that, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.